The history of Egypt. Egypt, the gift of the Nile, boasts a history as rich and fertile as the river that shaped it. Spanning millennia, its story is a tapestry woven with the threads of powerful pharaohs, magnificent monuments, groundbreaking innovations, and enduring cultural influence. Prehistoric and pre-dynastic Egypt c. 6000–3150 BCE. Neolithic settlements emerge along the Nile, transitioning from hunter-gatherer societies to agriculture and animal domestication. Pre-dynastic cultures develop in Upper and Lower Egypt, each with distinct beliefs and artistic styles. Hieroglyphic writing emerges, laying the foundation for Egypt's rich literary tradition. Dynastic period c. 3150–332 BCE. Early dynastic period c. 3150–2686 BCE. King Menes unites Upper and Lower Egypt, marking the beginning of dynastic rule and the construction of the first pyramids. Old Kingdom c. 2686–2181 BCE, the Age of Pyramids, characterized by powerful pharaohs like Djoser, Khufu, and Khafra, who commissioned the construction of monumental pyramids at Giza and Saqqara. First Intermediate Period c. 2181–2055 BCE, a time of political instability and decentralization, with rival dynasties vying for control. Middle Kingdom c. 2055–1786 BCE, a period of reunification and expansion, marked by the reign of pharaohs like Mentuhotep II and Senusret III, who extend Egyptian influence into Nubia. Second Intermediate Period c. 1786–1550 BCE, foreign Hyksos rule parts of Egypt, introducing new technologies like the chariot. New Kingdom c. 1550–1069 BCE, a golden age of Egyptian power and prosperity, with pharaohs like Ahmose I, Thutmose III, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and Ramses II expanding the empire, constructing magnificent temples Karnak, Luxor, and engaging in international diplomacy. Third Intermediate Period c. 1069–664 BCE, Egypt fragments into competing kingdoms, with Libyan and Nubian rulers gaining influence. Late Period c. 664–332 BCE, brief periods of reunification under native rulers like Psamtik I and Necho II, but ultimately conquered by the Persians. Foreign rule and the end of an era 332 BCE–641 CE. Alexander the Great conquers Egypt, ushering in the Ptolemaic Kingdom 332–30 BCE, a period of Greek rule that sees the founding of Alexandria and the flourishing of scholarship. Cleopatra VII, the last Ptolemaic ruler, becomes entangled with Rome, leading to Egypt's annexation as a Roman province in 30 BCE. Roman rule brings about economic prosperity and architectural marvels, but also religious persecution with the rise of Christianity. Byzantine Empire controls Egypt after the Roman split, but eventually falls to the Arab conquest in 641 CE. Legacy. Ancient Egypt's legacy is profound and enduring. Its contributions to art, architecture, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and literature have influenced civilizations across the globe. The grandeur of its monuments, the mystery of its hieroglyphs, and the intrigue surrounding its pharaohs continue to captivate and inspire us today. Exploring further. This is just a brief overview of Egypt's vast history. To delve deeper, consider exploring specific periods, dynasties, or figures that pique your interest. Museums, documentaries, and academic resources offer a wealth of information and insights into this fascinating civilization. Christianity is complex and multifaceted, marked by both conflict and syncretism. The Egyptian sun god. Ancient Egyptians worshipped a variety of deities, with the sun god holding a central place in their cosmology. Over time, different aspects and names of the sun god gained prominence. Ra, often depicted as a falcon-headed man, Ra was the supreme sun god, representing the midday sun and its life-giving power. Horus, a falcon god associated with kingship and protection, Horus represented the rising sun and its victory over darkness. Amun, originally a local deity in Thebes, Amun rose to prominence during the New Kingdom, merging with Ra to become Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. Aten. During the Amarna period, Akhenaten attempted to establish Aten, the sun disk, as the sole god, a form of early monotheism. The rise of Christianity in Egypt. Christianity arrived in Egypt during the Roman period, likely spreading through Jewish communities in Alexandria. Despite facing persecution, Christianity gained a strong foothold, eventually becoming the dominant religion. Conflict and syncretism. The rise of Christianity challenged traditional Egyptian beliefs, including sun worship. Early Christians viewed the Egyptian gods as pagan idols and actively sought to distance themselves from these practices. However, elements of Egyptian sun worship found their way into Christian traditions through a process of syncretism, where different religious beliefs and practices are blended. Solar imagery. The sun's association with light, life, and resurrection resonated with Christian beliefs about Jesus as the light of the world. Early Christian art and symbolism often incorporated solar motifs, such as the halo. Festivals. The timing of Christian holidays, like Christmas celebrated on December 25, coincided with existing Roman and pagan festivals, some of which had solar connections, e.g., the Roman festival of Sol Invictus. Theological interpretations. Some early Christian theologians, like Origen, attempted to reinterpret Egyptian mythology through a Christian lens, seeing parallels between the stories of Horus and Jesus. Legacy. While the worship of the Egyptian sun god ultimately faded with the rise of Christianity, its influence can still be seen in the evolution of Christian art, symbolism, and even some theological interpretations. This complex interplay highlights the dynamic nature of religious beliefs and the enduring power of ancient traditions. Web of challenges across various sectors. Here's a breakdown. Economic challenges. Poverty and inequality. Despite recent economic growth, poverty and income inequality remain high. A significant portion of the population struggles to afford basic necessities. Unemployment. Unemployment, particularly among youth and women, is a persistent issue. Inflation. Rising inflation erodes purchasing power and disproportionately affects low-income households. Public debt. Egypt has a high level of public debt, which limits government spending on social programs and infrastructure. Dependence on tourism. The tourism sector, a major source of revenue and employment, is vulnerable to global shocks like pandemics and geopolitical instability. Water scarcity. The Nile River, Egypt's primary water source, is under increasing pressure due to population growth and climate change. Social challenges. Overpopulation. Rapid population growth strains resources, infrastructure, and public services. Education and healthcare. Access to quality education and healthcare remains unequal, particularly in rural areas. Gender inequality. Women in Egypt face discrimination in various aspects of life, including education, employment, and legal rights. Freedom of expression. Restrictions on freedom of expression and assembly persist, limiting political participation and dissent. Political challenges. Political reform. Demands for greater political participation and democratic reforms continue. Corruption. Corruption within government institutions undermines public trust and hinders economic development. Terrorism. Egypt faces security threats from terrorist groups, particularly in the Sinai Peninsula. Environmental challenges. Climate change. Egypt is highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, including sea level rise, extreme weather events, and water scarcity. Pollution. Air and water pollution pose significant health risks, particularly in urban areas. Loss of biodiversity. Habitat loss and degradation threaten Egypt's rich biodiversity. Addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach that includes promoting sustainable and inclusive economic growth. This involves creating jobs, investing in education and healthcare, and reducing inequality. Strengthening governance and promoting human rights. This includes tackling corruption, ensuring freedom of expression, and promoting political participation. Addressing population growth. Investing in family planning and empowering women are crucial to managing population growth. Investing in renewable energy and water conservation. These measures are essential for mitigating the impacts of climate change and ensuring water security. By addressing these challenges, Egypt can work towards a more prosperous, equitable, and sustainable future for all its citizens.